What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Wrath2501 here. Alright, so this is the Warhammer part of Double Feature Friday, and this is something by, let's see, who was doing this again? Who was this? Oh, Commissar Gamza, yeah. I haven't done much of his stuff, so I'm going back and doing some of his older stuff when he used to talk about stuff with Warhammer, because basically what he does now is he just talks about what Games Workshop is doing and pissing everybody off. Anyway, I got some guest reactors here with you guys. Yep, there's Carter. Yep, we're trying a little thing for this set of reaction videos. Group guys. Walker was here, yes.
Yeah, I'm here.
Walker's here, and Zero was here. Zero. Okay, Zero's not here. Okay, he was in the group, but he's being quiet. I'm gonna turn it down.
Yeah, he's being quiet.
Really quiet.
Okay, so let's get started and go.
Why, hello there, everybody. Welcome to this video. So today we are going to be talking about the Zealot from StarCraft from the Protoss side versus the Howling Banshee from Warhammer 40k on the Eldar side.
How so?
Now, why am I making this video?
Oh, Zealots?
Number one reason
they're
is
a
because
bitch to
StarCraft
fight against, because they're
and Warhammer
surprisingly
40K
tough for a
both
starter
have their
unit.
buttermilk bobs, and
At
I
least
want
in
to
the original
tear
StarCraft.
each other apart in the comment section. That, and I mean, the video's been
Never
heavily
actually
requested
played it
for
in
like several
StarCraft,
months
so
now.
I
Alright, let's go ahead and dive into the Screaming Bitches. Now, the
Screaming
Eldar
Bitches.
government has demanded inclusivity and that women
God,
can do
it's
anything
so
that men
Jack.
can do. And thus, we have the Howling Banshees, which are an all-women close combat specialist unit. Now, the Howling Banshees, because they double down on their agility, they wear light aspect armor. And the best way to describe this armor is it is psychic-infused plastic, essentially, that can remold itself in the course of battle as the person is moving around to gain flexibility, and the armor can also harden itself in reaction to being struck. Making her a hard ass when
Dude,
struck
what the
from
hell,
behind.
man?
Now, to complement this possessed water bottle plastic armor, we have
Water
a
bottle
shuriken
plastic.
pistol, which is wielded by the Howling Banshee itself. Now, the shuriken
What the
pistol
fuck is
literally
that magazine,
fires
man?
monomolecular edge shurikens out of this thing.
Monomolecular
so instead of
edge
ninja stars,
shuriken.
they just shoot them at you. They're very good
I thought you
at
were
ripping
gonna do
flesh
little badass,
apart
you
and
get shot in the
penetrating
face.
light armor. This is a short-distance weapon. Now, when
giant
it's time
robot
for her to
beats
prove
Eldar.
herself that she is a strong and independent woman in close combat, she brings the
God.
This is a power weapon in the terms
talk
of
about a
Warhammer
thought
40k, which
destroyer.
basically means it is a sword
Yep.
or
Be
weapon
gone.
that is sheathed in an energy field which allows it to pass through heavy armor with ease. Now, I was gonna say like a hot knife through butter, but come on, we know modern women can't cook anymore. All right, now let's
Dude,
get
Jesus
okay, I'm
Christ.
gonna get freaking
Howling
banned for
Banshee,
this
a
shit.
true feminist. She wears something that is called the
God.
Banshee mask, worn by the Howling Banshee. This mask uses a special
reminds me of the
psychosonic
Predator mask to a
amplifier,
degree.
turning the Banshee's raging
Yeah,
battle
kinda
cry
does with
into
that,
a devastating psychic barrage. Enemies
Okay.
exposed
With
to the
that,
psychic scream
normally-
suffer momentary paralysis as their central nervous system is flooded with psychic energy, making them easy prey for the Banshee.
looks like a
Now,
bug's
that's
nest.
me reading from the wiki because nobody
Yeah.
does it better than me. All right,
Oh, it's
boys, I gotta give this to you straight and give you a revelation here. We're
He was just
talking
scratching his
about
ears
a
like, what the
Howling
fuck?
Banshee that is a woman that sees herself as a warrior that has red hair, and her main
my
ability
God.
is screaming so loud that
No,
it
they went
paralyzes
there.
men. I mean, the only thing that separates the Howling Banshee from modern women of today is that the Howling Banshee can actually move around and isn't obese. Okay, now, to touch on the psychic powers of Eldar, practically
You know,
all
he makes a
Eldar
good
are
point, but he
psychics.
forgot
However,
having
when it
20
comes to the Howling
pronouns in his
Banshees,
bio.
it kind of seems like their only psychic powers would mainly be channeled through that mask, probably. There's really no lore that I've seen of actually demonstrating this psychic power,
is
and they
gonna
don't even
get
have psychic
fucking-
powers on the tabletop. But with the hundreds
already
of
see the
books out there
selective
that have
advertising
inconsistent
button.
lore, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you guys can reference at some point in time a Banshee using psychic powers. But there does not seem to be anything noteworthy to use here in battle. Alright, now let's go ahead and talk about the elder brother that the Tau wish they had. That being the
elder brother.
Protoss. Now, there are a group of warriors within the Protoss called the Templar, and amongst their lower ranks are called Zealots, and this is
Yeah,
the
they're
guy that we
basically
are
a
going
starter
to use
unit.
here
They're
today.
frickin'
Now, these
cannon
bad
fodder.
boys stand about 8 to 9 feet tall, which is still not tall enough for modern women. They have decades of training in order to become a Zealot, and then they have further
fucking
decades of training just to
Yeah,
earn their
it's
power
hard.
armor. Every single Zealot has psionic powers. In other words, they have psychic abilities abilities. Then they further enhance these psychic abilities with their power armor. Now, just like a good old-fashioned expensive Swiss Army knife, this bad boy is armed with all kinds of stuff. The suit is outfitted with a personal plasma shield generator, and not just any kind of shield. This shield is capable of absorbing an entire magazine of Terran C-14 rifle ammunition. This is depleted uranium fired at hypersonic speeds. That plasma shield is enough to even make Master Chief jealous. The suit also protects you from hostile environments such as the vacuum of space, nuclear, biological, and chemical environments. Now, unlike you, these bad boys don't skip leg day. They have leg augmentations, which enhance their movement and jumping capabilities, allowing them to jump across the battlefield at high speed.
These guys are high
Okay, so now I want to talk about their Gandalf and space powers, and I quote, Zealots have a limited form of precognition. They may predict enemy movements, strike with deadly accuracy, and dodge attacks. This is all of them. So they can't exactly see what you're going to do next week, but when you are in front of them, they can predict your movements and act accordingly.
He was in the explosion, he walked away without even looking at it. What the hell is that?
Power through their power
think I saw her teleporting.
That's when you get the iconic psionic blades. Now these blades can cut through armored structures and tanks just as easily as Buttermilk Bob can cut through birthday cake. Alright. Now here's the icing on the cake that Buttermilk Bob wants to slurp down. Gandalf, I'm gonna have to ask you to take a back seat, even though I love you, my man. Zed from League of Legends, come here. We need to talk to you for a second.
Zed from League of Legends.
Zealots have the ability, and I quote, Zealots developed the ability to turn their body into pure energy for a few microseconds. The resulting lightning-fast speed allows them to strike suddenly against an enemy that thinks that they are out of range. This means that the Zealots literally possess the ability to nothing personnel you out of existence. Okay, so what is my conclusion of the Banshee from Warhammer 40k versus the Zealot on StarCraft? This is going to have to go hands down to the Zealot on the victory. Now, why?
Given their abilities, I would say
on all fields. Not only can he match her speed, if not be faster, and I will argue in a second that he's actually going to be faster than a Howling Banshee, but that he also possesses a limited form of precognition, which means he has the ability to predict her movements before she even does them. Things like activating her Howling Banshee mask, where he can turn himself into light to negate that. Or even in the instance of her trying to ambush him, he could then teleport behind her or just avoid the ambush in general. Now, this is not a guaranteed win to say that there's nothing that she could do to ever harm him, but that there's a lot more in his favor than in her favor. Another thing to add here is these Protoss Zealots are battle-hardened veterans, and they go through a lot of psycho conditioning with their psychic powers on top of battle tactics. And so if her mask is to go off, and let's say that it does stun him temporarily, I believe he would have the ability to recuperate faster than a normal troop. But in the meantime, if she's gonna paralyze him and she begins to strike him, his force field should be able to absorb those blows enough to the point where he can recuperate.
He has
even
more
if she
defensive
does
abilities
get through that shield and hit him, it's not a guarantee that he's gonna go down. These guys, one, they do have very powerful suits that I think her blade could chop through the suit itself, but the suit is also capable of stopping the bleeding, and not to mention they go through pain training specifically to be able to handle that and to continue fighting. So whether we are talking about a small-scale 1v1 or an entire battle that involves thousands of these units, I still have to give it to the Zealots, because even if you chop down a few, just killing these guys in close combat is going to be so difficult to do it, especially when they all possess these abilities. Now, this was not a matchup that I chose. This was a matchup that you guys were requesting, and in my opinion, this was a very poor matchup because the Zealot is just too powerful and has too much flexibility in his abilities and his strengths versus the Banshee from Warhammer 40k. I think this is another instance where people severely underestimate other sci-fi universes and just presume that because you've heard a couple of hyperbole from Warhammer 40k or you've heard fans hype things up, when you really break it down and take a look at it, you begin to realize that Warhammer 40k is really not as powerful as you thought it was. A Howling Banshee is supposed to be a specialized close combat elite for the Eldar, and the Zealot is just a low-ranking Templar. Alright, so that go ahead and concludes our video for today. If I have not offended you, I ask that you please subscribe and give me another chance in a future video to offend your delicate ass. So anyways, thank you very much, and I'll have more for you later.
Okay, so
also known as Holy Shit
StarCraft. You're overpowered as fuck.
Well, I told you, Zealots are a pain in the ass to fight. They're a starter. That's a starter unit for the Protoss. The only downside of the Protoss is that their units, all of them, even the starter ones, are very expensive. So you can't make like an army of them. You know, it's not like a Zerg rush. Like when you have Zerg, the most basic strategy is always like making like 100 Zerglings like right off the bat and just sending them to fight your enemy's beginner base. They'll tear it apart.
Well, it makes sense. They're so expensive if they aren't fucking strong, and those are just the basic ones, right?
Yes.
Jesus.
I mean, like a human, like for the ultimate air unit, the humans might have like 4, maybe even 5, what they call battle cruisers. But given the cost when it comes to the Protoss, at most, you're able to maybe squeeze out maybe 2 carriers. Maybe 3 if you're got like a huge economy going. You might be able to get 3 of them because they're so fucking expensive. It's just crazy. That's the downside of the Protoss, is though their stuff is expensive. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. That was interesting. Teaching the guys here about some stuff about Warhammer. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And StarCraft too. Yeah, StarCraft is pretty cool. It was interesting. Though, I will say this, though. I mean, I'm not saying that, it's better than Warhammer, but I will say this. Just about everything in StarCraft was ripped off of Warhammer. Blizzard has never found anything that they will not rip off.
Yeah.
They've just, you look about everything. Hell, even Warcraft is basically ripped off of Warhammer. With the orcs and everything like that. It's a combination of like the old Warhammer stuff, like the medieval Warhammer stuff, not Warhammer 40k, but just basic Warhammer, and mixed with Lord of the Rings, and then you got Warcraft. That's all it was.
And Overwatch is basically just TF2. Never heard of it.
Yeah, Overwatch. Yeah, Overwatch is even more TF2 now that they have MVM in Overwatch.
Yeah.
Except
Anyways.
despite the fact it was released later, it has less players.
Oh, bird.
Gee.
Yeah, well, rather than just they just created like one new mode for the game, and rather than create just an update and say, oh yeah, we're giving you this update, come play our game again. Rather than do that, no, you have to buy a whole new game, Overwatch 2, and pay $60 for it.
Yep.
And instead of being, consistent and actually giving a solid fuck about their community.
I mean, can you imagine if like every major update of TF2 was a game you had to buy? People would never have bought it.
Yeah,
the game would have died long ago.
For an update.
Yeah. Anyway, enough of the philosophical conversation here. I will see you guys next time. Like this video, subscribe, click on the link to the original, get down to Commissar Gams' channel, and like the original, sub to him over there. He's pretty cool. And until next time, guys, bye-bye.
Bye.